It's the first dealership under the new Cadillac Global Architecture Plan, and it's also the first of that kind that's a standalone, which is quite unique. Cadillac has traditionally been paired with Chevrolet or GMC, and that begins our story about how this all began. For us, as a Calgary dealership, we heard that, and that was pure music to our ears. What a lot of people don't realize is how strong the luxury market is inside the city of Calgary. As an example, in the world of Cadillac, the next largest market outside of Calgary is Toronto. Nobody else. For us, it made a lot of sense to take on a new dealership and be part of the process of developing where Cadillac wants to go with these new facilities, both in terms of the physical structure and as well in terms of what the process would look like once the physical structure was in place. You definitely will expect a different customer experience here, and that's not because we're embarrassed about the customer experience that we delivered today. Our current operation, Jack Carter's, you're right, very recognizable name, still representing the Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC brands. And we've always been known as being very dedicated to our customers and trying to deliver a high level of service. What we're talking about at the Cadillac store is taking that foundation that we already had built and moving it to a new level. And your next question is probably going to be, well, what would that new level look like? So to give you an example, and I touched on it earlier, Concierge Service. We find that the luxury owner, when you ask them what the most precious thing in their life is, it's time. So we look at that and say, well, is their time best served by bringing their car down to the dealership, having it serviced, waiting for it, and then leaving? Let's be honest, as quick as we ever could be in doing that, that is still an hour to 2 hours out of somebody's day. If instead we offer to pick the vehicle up at their home or their workplace, bring it here, have the work done, and return it to the same home or workplace, and now they've just got another hour or two back in their day. I'll tell you a quick little side story about the fact that this is a two-story. When we started this process, Cadillac didn't even have their design document finished as to what they felt that a dealership should look like at the end. One thing that they initially came to us on was that they felt that it should be single-story. We felt very strongly, perched on top of the ridge like we are, that this should be a two-story in height for visibility, but more importantly, we wanted to achieve a second story because we wanted to do something unique. And that's where we came up with the idea of what we call our V showroom. So in our world, V means two things. V is vintage Cadillacs. We've always been known as a collector and seller of vintage GM vehicles. And we will have permanently on display here at the dealership 4 vintage Cadillacs in the upper showroom and a collection of about a dozen to 15 other vintage GM vehicles in our basement storage facility. In addition to vintage Cadillacs, the other part of the V is the V series. Cadillac actually has a proud racing history, which not a lot of people realize. And the V series of vehicles are a high performance aspect. So, you take, say, a CTS sedan, very nice vehicle on its own, you turn that into a V series, and now you've got a real monster. And we felt that with where Cadillac wanted to go with the performance aspect, that it warranted its own special place and most of a showroom. And that gets back to what we talked about earlier, where I said there's been such collaboration. I just want to add that I'm so very excited and I'm so appreciative of the support that we've had from the city of Calgary. It's not the best time in Calgary right now. I think we can all be honest about that. We're very proud to have North America's very first standalone Cadillac dealership in the city of Calgary. This is a big deal to us, and we hope it's a big deal to Calgarians too.